The silence in this apartment is a cruel constant. It hums with the weight of my mistakes, a symphony of what used to be and what will never be again. Every single object around me, every photograph that remains stubbornly on the wall, screams a name I no longer dare to whisper. Liam. His name is a shard of glass in my throat, a constant reminder of the beautiful, vibrant life I shattered with my own two hands. We had a love story that people envied. We were the couple that everyone looked to, the ones with the easy laughter and the shared dreams. Our beginning felt like a fairy tale, an instant connection that deepened with every shared meal, every late-night conversation, every quiet morning sunrise viewed from our bedroom window. Liam was my anchor, my confidant, my best friend. He knew my fears, my ambitions, my silliest quirks. He saw me, truly saw me, and loved every imperfect piece. I loved him with a fierce, unwavering devotion that I believed was unbreakable. We built a life together brick by brick, a comfortable home filled with warmth and the promise of a shared future. Marriage was discussed, children were dreamt of. It all felt so real, so tangible, so safe. Then, slowly, subtly, an insidious crack appeared. I cannot pinpoint the exact moment it started, but the shine began to dull. Our conversations grew shallower, our touches less frequent, our shared silences heavier. Life, with its mundane routines and demanding responsibilities, started to feel like a monotonous cycle. I felt unseen not by Liam's design, but perhaps by my own growing detachment. There was no grand fight, no dramatic betrayal from his side, just a quiet drifting, a comfortable complacency that I, in my blindness, mistook for peace. I convinced myself that this was just how long-term relationships evolved, that the initial spark simply mellowed into a steady glow. But deep down, a part of me yearned for something more, something exciting, something that made me feel vibrant and alive again. That yearning became a dangerous whisper when I met Mark. He was a colleague, new to the office, charismatic and attentive. He listened when I spoke, truly listened, with an intensity that felt intoxicating. He laughed at my jokes, offered compliments that felt sincere, and made me feel seen again. The attention was a potent drug, a stark contrast to the comfortable predictability of my life with Liam. It started innocently enough, friendly lunches, shared projects, extended conversations after everyone else had left. I told myself it was harmless, just friendship, a much-needed intellectual stimulation. I rationalized it, compartmentalized it, building a wall of denial around my increasingly erratic behavior. The first time it crossed the line, I felt a jolt of panic, mixed with a strange, forbidden thrill. A late night at the office, a shared bottle of wine, a moment of vulnerability, his hand on mine, his eyes holding mine, a kiss that tasted of regret and reckless abandon. In that instant, my entire world tilted on its axis. The guilt was immediate, a cold knot in my stomach that threatened to unravel everything. But the thrill, the fleeting sensation of being desired in a new, exciting way, was equally powerful. And that was my undoing. I chose the thrill. I chose the fleeting gratification over the sanctity of my commitment. The affair became a shadow life, a secret world I carefully constructed. Every lie I told Liam was a brick in that wall, separating us further. My days were a chaotic dance between feigned normalcy with Liam and stolen moments with Mark. I became an expert at deception, at masking my true emotions, at inventing believable excuses for my late nights and distracted mind. The guilt was a constant companion, gnawing at me, eroding my peace. I hated myself for what I was doing, for the person I was becoming. Yet, I couldn't stop. The fear of confrontation, the terror of confessing, kept me trapped in a cycle of deceit. I watched Liam, oblivious and trusting, and a fresh wave of self-loathing would wash over me. He would ask about my day, touch my arm, look at me with the same loving eyes, and I would feel like a vile imposter. The distance between us grew, not because he was pulling away, but because I was building an insurmountable barrier of lies. The weight of it all became unbearable. Sleep offered no escape, only restless nights filled with anxious dreams. My appetite vanished, my vibrant personality dimmed. Liam noticed, of course. He asked if I was okay, if anything was wrong at work. He offered comfort, warmth, and the innocent trust that I was so ruthlessly betraying. His concern only intensified my shame. I wanted to confess, to unburden myself, but the words were stuck in my throat, paralyzed by fear of the inevitable devastation. The truth, as it always does, found its way out. It wasn't a grand confession, but a cruel, mundane discovery. A text message, innocently left open on my phone, visible for mere seconds. Liam saw it. A name, a phrase, enough to unravel my carefully constructed web of lies in an instant. The air in the room crackled with an unspoken horror. His face, when he looked up from the screen, was a mask of disbelief. Then a swift, sickening realization. The color drained from his face, leaving him pale and utterly broken. The confrontation that followed was a blur of raw emotion. His voice, usually so steady and gentle, was laced with pain and fury. He asked me questions I couldn't answer, words I couldn't articulate. Why? How could I? Didn't I love him? Each question was a dagger, piercing through my own already shattered heart. I tried to explain, to apologize, to beg for forgiveness, but my words felt hollow, inadequate. There was no excuse, no justification that could undo the damage. The trust, the foundation of our entire relationship, had crumbled into dust. I watched as his eyes, once filled with adoration, hardened with a hurt so profound it was almost physical. He wept, not the quiet sobs of sadness, but the guttural, heartbroken cries of a man whose world had just been irrevocably destroyed. And I was the architect of that destruction. He asked me to leave. There was no argument, no bargaining, just a quiet, resolute command that echoed through the empty spaces of my soul. I packed a bag, my hands trembling, my vision blurred by tears that offered no relief. Leaving our home, our shared sanctuary, felt like severing a limb. Every step away from him was a step into a desolate, unknown future. The silence of my new, temporary apartment was deafening, a stark contrast to the vibrant noise of the life I had so carelessly thrown away. The days that followed were a torment. I lost everything that mattered. Liam, our future, our dreams. My reputation at work suffered too, a hushed whisper following me through the corridors. Mark, the catalyst of my undoing, quickly faded from my life, a temporary distraction whose purpose had been served. He offered no comfort, no solace, just a brief, awkward apology before disappearing, leaving me alone with the wreckage. I spend my nights replaying every moment, every decision, every lie. I dissect my own motivations, searching for an answer, a reason, something to mitigate the unbearable shame. Was it boredom, selfishness, a desperate plea for attention? Perhaps all of it, tangled together in a messy knot of insecurity and poor judgment. I destroyed the most precious thing I had, the love of a good, kind man, for a fleeting fantasy. I traded stability for chaos, trust for deceit, and a future for an empty present. There is no easy path to redemption, no quick fix for a broken heart, especially when it's your own hand that did the breaking. I carry the weight of my actions every single day. The loneliness is a constant companion, a stark mirror reflecting the choices I made. I yearn for the simplicity of our life before, for the innocent joy, for the comforting presence of Liam. But those days are gone, irrevocably lost. All that remains is the echoing silence, the haunting memories, and the crushing knowledge that I alone am responsible for the devastation. My story is a cautionary tale, a painful testament to the irreversible consequences of betrayal. And now, I live with the profound regret, a silent scream in an empty room, knowing that some wounds never truly heal, and some loves, once shattered, can never be pieced back together.